Riparian corridors are more than water flowing through a landscape. These essential areas, when properly functioning, help with flood control, contribute to aquifer replenishment, aid in carbon sequestration, and provide habitat for diverse wildlife. But 95% of California's floodplain riparian habitat has been lost. In Sonoma County, land conservation organizations, local landowners, and others cooperate with water agency Sonoma Water to protect, repair, and expand crucial riparian corridor ecosystems. The Sonoma County Agricultural Preservation and Open Space District has worked for years with local landowners to create voluntary riparian conservation easements while acquiring property in and around the Mark West Creek.
Mark West Creek is unique in that it is one of the largest tributaries to the Russian River, along with Maakama Creek and several other large systems that flow to the Russian River. Mark West is also really important because it is a coho stream, and coho salmon are federally listed as endangered. So we're standing in an area that is critically important for the recovery of coho salmon, as well as the continued viability of steelhead trout. Mark West Creek is a wonderful part of our water supply, naturally filtering our drinking water, but it also helps with flood control. The Mark West Creek watershed is perched above the city of Santa Rosa, and when these systems are healthy and can absorb water through these wide riparian corridors, they're less likely to deliver high volumes of water downstream really quickly, causing flooding.
The Mark West Creek riparian area was recently transferred to Sonoma County Regional Parks, which will steward the 1,100-acre Mark West Creek Park and Preserve.
We're 20 minutes from downtown Santa Rosa, and you are experiencing, just feel the vibe here. It's absolutely, you feel like you're in the mountains far, far away. And so to have that opportunity for people to connect with and understand riparian systems, but to tell that story to people, why do coho salmon come here? Why does steelhead come here? And to appreciate the beauty of this place, I think is just a fantastic opportunity for us. My father was a lifelong fisherman, and it was only one day when he was hiking down along a creek and saw an interpretive panel on riparian areas that he came back to me. He's like, "Melanie, do you know how important riparian areas are?" And I was like, "Yes, Dad, yes." So we want to have people have those epiphanies out here, right? Where they're learning that this isn't just water flowing through a landscape. This is actually a really vital part of our ecosystem.
Mark West Creek is part of the Coho Recovery Plan, which has been developed by NOAA and the Water Agency and many other partners to bring coho salmon back to the Russian River watershed.
Riparian areas are also super important for terrestrial connectivity, so they become the pathways by which many terrestrial animals travel.
We're surrounded by the area that burned in the October 2017 fires. The riparian corridor came through that relatively intact, really didn't burn, and it acted as a buffer for the fires, and that's true throughout the landscape of these riparian corridors. But even the remaining areas that did burn are starting to recover really quickly.
These vegetation types have evolved with fire, and very much as the result of human ignition over time, over thousands of years. You know, we are at Sonoma County Regional Parks working with CAL FIRE and many other partners to relearn the tool of prescribed fire, which is something our indigenous peoples used routinely in these landscapes.
Sonoma County Water Agency, or Sonoma Water, has intakes right at the confluence of this creek system, Mark-West Creek, and the Russian River, and that's where they draw naturally filtered water out of this watershed to supply clean drinking water for our community. I think one of the most valuable assets that Sonoma Water brings is that they have an understanding of how natural systems help us to protect and maintain our water quality and water supply. They don't just approach quality and quantity of our water supply through the lens of an engineering perspective. They look at it through the lens of natural watershed protection, land conservation, and stewardship. We're really fortunate here in Sonoma County that there's such a close collaboration and partnership between Sonoma Water, Sonoma Ag and Open Space, and Sonoma County Regional Parks, as well as our resource conservation districts, our tribes, and various nonprofits and private landowners.
This watershed that we live and work in is carved up into many small parcels, the most parcels per area in the whole state. And so that means that there are a lot of individual landowners that need to be engaged if we're going to manage this as one watershed. Some people's goals for their land are in agriculture. Some people's goals are just to have a beautiful and comfortable place to live. And so we're always looking for what is the thing that will help enhance their lifestyle or their business on their land and also help natural resources.
A healthy stream or river needs room to flow freely, to meander over time, and to overflow into its floodplain when necessary. Riparian corridors are much more than water flowing through a landscape.
They're critically important for supporting biological diversity. They help us be resilient to drought because we have a year-round source of water. They help us be resilient to flooding, and they help us be resilient to fires by acting as a buffer.
Healthy watersheds are storing water, they're providing clean water to us. Every day when you turn on your tap, you should think of a riparian area near you.